yesterday was a big change for the North London derby. Just being competitive in the midfield was definitely a massive difference. I think, again, I would say most of our chances came in the transitions, pinching the ball in the midfield or pinching the ball in the defence and kind of on counter-attacks or quick breakaways. That is generally where our big chances came from. But I would have to say that we competed a lot better and we created so many chances. The only disappointment was we didn't win by more of the chances we created, especially near the end. We had a host of chances to seal the deal, and you know, the fact that it was only 2-1, we weren't even hanging on at 2-1, which was good, but the fact it was only 2-1 was the only issue, really. I thought yesterday we were definitely the better team. I thought Villa, I actually didn't think Villa played too badly. I thought they came strong, especially in the first half. They created a few moments. I thought we really struggled to contain Matt Targett on the left-hand side. He was getting a lot of joy. But, you know, I thought other than that, I thought we contained a very decent Villa side, and then we let our superior quality with Sonny especially shine through, and he was absolutely exceptional yesterday, Heung-min Son. As Dean Smith said, he was the difference between both sides yesterday, and it's hard to disagree with that considering it wasn't just the 2 assists he got, because I actually felt Son didn't really have a shooting boots on yesterday, but
he definitely didn't.
But like it was just like the little movements on the ball, his dribbling ability to get out of tight situations, like on the wing.
So sharp yesterday.
It was his best performance for a while, I think, Sonny. He was sensational and
sensational,
exactly. And he's obviously earned his 2 assists, which was, I think, really positive from him. Especially the second. I thought, to be honest, both of them I thought were really impressive. But I think in general, Sonny was head and shoulders above anyone else yesterday, and I can understand why Dean Smith said he was the difference.
But I completely agree with that. And Sonny was absolutely unplayable yesterday. He really was. He was literally attacking them no end down that left-hand side and beating his man every time, pretty much. Getting good quality crosses in the box, obviously with his 2 assists. But you know who I was really impressed with yesterday was Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale came, and you know, this was the first time we've actually seen him strut his stuff properly and have a good performance, impacting the team. I was very impressed with him defensively with his interception. How many times was he intercepting the ball yesterday?
Many.
How many times?
Countless.
With his brilliant tackles as well, good sliding tackles. And also, apart from that, creating a great option on that right-hand side as well. I mean, I thought it was a great performance from going forward and back the other way.
And not only was he getting forward in good positions, I felt like there was a bit of quality as well at the end of those runs. You know, a couple of times he was pick out Sonny at the back post, and he nearly found Kane with another good cross. Like, he actually seems to have a bit of quality. So I think people were very quick to say this guy is not good enough and all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. But I actually think yesterday he proved what he can bring to us. And I actually think as well, tactically, Villa set up in a way to try and not expose him, but you know, every time they were looking for Matt Targett on their left-hand side, and he had to deal with that situation. And a few times Targett was able to get away, but by and large he dealt with it pretty effectively. And I would say the problems he had there were more tactical than him personally. But I thought, defensively he was really good, and he was really encouraging performance. And with Tomiyasu putting in a terrible performance against Brighton, maybe people were too quick to judge about who's the better signing.
The thing is with Tomiyasu, right? The 3 games where everyone's raving about him was Norwich, Burnley, and Tottenham, right? Not once in any of those 3 games did he probably get pressed, right? Against Brighton, he was getting pressed time and time again, and he faltered under the pressure. So, I think maybe people were a bit too quick to start raving about Tomiyasu. We'll see how he goes on. I'm not going to say he's going to be a failure or a flop or anything, but you know, people just need to calm down a bit when they're kind of heaping praise on a player, especially when he hasn't been properly tested. And I think that's the same with Emerson. People were very quick to put him down and stuff, being like, "Oh, this guy's not good enough. This guy's not good enough." But how hard is it from a young player coming into the Premier League with no Premier League experience, coming into a team that's not really doing that well, not really tactically structured that well, and coming in? You know, it's very hard for a player like that to come in.
Yeah, and when
hit the ground running.
And he's had tough games. Let's be honest. He came up against Crystal Palace in his first game, where you know Wilfried Zaha, one of the best around, and then he had Chelsea. We were one of the best teams in the league. So like those are the first 2 games, and he didn't even. I didn't even think. I think he struggled, but I didn't even think it was like the awful performances everyone was making out. I just don't think he was. He wasn't great, but he wasn't like shambolic. And I think there were circumstances to why he maybe wasn't as effective as he could have been. But yesterday, in a more functioning team with better balance, I thought he played really, really well, and I was really happy with what I saw. And his ability to get up and down the flanks, he was pretty much going all day up and down the flank, which was really positive. So yeah, look, I was happy with Emerson, and hopefully he can carry on in that vein of form.
Yeah, a few other players that we need to talk about. Ollie Skip, obviously shown, him and Højbjerg, you know, this partnership in the middle is really, really growing in my opinion now. And I think that every time both of them have been on the pitch, I think it's been better more times than it hasn't been, if you know what I'm saying. And, you know, they're building a nice little partnership in the middle. I think Skippy cleaning up everything in the middle there, being aggressive in the middle there, kind of helping the team go forward, really. And it helps Højbjerg, you know, releases the shackles a bit of Højbjerg, and you saw what it can bring. Lovely, lovely finish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant finish. Yeah. Lovely curled finish. Finesse R1 right into the bottom corner.
Didn't think you'd get finesse from Højbjerg. He's the last person you'd think there's finesse. But what I would say about Skip and Højbjerg is that Ollie Skip, his shielding alongside Højbjerg, first of all, he seems very comfortable in possession, Skip. So he's very easy to pop the ball to, and he can keep the ball ticking over. He's very comfortable when we're in possession. Obviously, our possession, he's brilliant, winning the ball back, putting in those tackles. Also, not only that, tracking players into the penalty area. He's not afraid to go deep into the penalty area and stuff like that. And, you know, we saw that overhead kick clearance that he did just before Ings was about to take a shot. So that was really positive. But what I would say how he unleashed Højbjerg was, it wasn't just he unleashed Højbjerg from an attacking sense where Højbjerg was able to get forward a bit more, as you know, proven with the goal. I feel like Højbjerg also had more confidence within himself to press more higher up the pitch.
Yeah,
I feel like he wasn't hanging back a bit more. You know, we even saw that with the goal, how he was pressing on the halfway line, trying to catch the Villa midfield round. Obviously, he caused the goal a few times. Højbjerg is in pressing Villa players in their own defensive third, because he knows he has a protection of Skip. If they were to beat his press, Skip's always there to protect it. Against Arsenal, I felt Højbjerg had that mental block where he knew if he pressed them too high, then there's no one else behind him to protect him, right?
I mean, yeah, that was complete facts. That's complete facts, yeah.
So it allowed Højbjerg to have a more of aggressive press about him.
I don't think it's a mental block. I think it's a complete structural block. You know what I mean? Because the team was set up so wrong there. Højbjerg was the last man before the defence, and there was no one helping him around him. I don't know if it's a mental block, but definitely a tactical block.
No, because I think when you press like Højbjerg does, I think you have to have 100% confidence that either you're going to get the ball, or it's not, or you can manage the situation if you don't get the ball. Because if you go into these pressing situations with even a 0.5% doubt in your mind, you're not going to get the ball and you're going to get played around. That's going to be the reality. And I think yesterday he was full throttle, going into crunching challenges high up the pitch, and it's because Ollie Skip allowed him to do that. He was able to do it, and we saw another side to Højbjerg, and we definitely unlocked more to him, and he looked a lot very comfortable in the double pivot, being able to go box to box. He seemed very comfortable in that role compared to maybe the 4-3-3. He was okay, but definitely him in the deepest role, he doesn't seem as comfortable in that role as he does when he's allowed to go box to box.
Definitely. We got a super chat here from Bring Him Home. A massive super chat. Thank you so much. It says, good job, Sonny. And I imagine it says, good job, Sonny, again in Korean as well. So thank you so much for that super chat. Massively appreciated. And Sonny was most definitely the best player on the park by a long, long way yesterday. He was absolutely unplayable. Absolutely brilliant. I can't say more about that because he was just so good. He really was. And another player who I want to talk about is Christian Romero. That Højbjerg goal that we're talking about, it was all started by an interception from Christian Romero that led to Højbjerg, and then he started the attack. Christian Romero, in my opinion, showed yesterday why this guy needs to be starting every single game for Tottenham. He needs to be that mainstay at the back. He is just so calm in possession. He's so aggressive in the tackle, interception after interception, tackle after tackle, authority in the back line. I believe massively he improved Dyer's performance as well, and as the left centre back. I mean, he's just oozes class, doesn't he? He just oozes class and confidence.
Yeah, and I would say with Romero, his aggression, like when getting to the ball and making challenges and making sure that the striker that he's facing, their touch has to be absolutely on point, and they have to be perfect to compete with them. Otherwise, he's going to get there in front of them. Otherwise, he's going to anticipate the pass. So he's going to be quicker and sharper than you, and that is exactly what we needed yesterday from not yesterday, but in general from our centre backs. So I feel like Dyer and Sanchez, when they're together, they're far too reactive. They just react to situations. They a lot of the time you see them, like when we say Sanchez and Dyer have great games, it's because they've made so many blocks and tackles and all these kind of things. But there's always because they've allowed the striker to get the ball and they've allowed them space. They're always backing off, and then they're making the block and the challenge after the fact. Romero is very much a proactive defender. You can see that with every step, and it definitely gets him in trouble.
Did it cost us a goal yesterday?
I wouldn't say it cost us a goal, but I think it definitely contributed to us conceding the goal.
Romero goes into that lunge. He's a bit late on it, and it goes round him, and then obviously Dyer gets dragged out of position a little bit for the goal.
I don't think Dyer got dragged out of position. I think Dyer had one man to mark, and he didn't do it.
He kind of follows the ball a little bit and gets dragged out of position.
Yeah, and I think I was wrong. He shouldn't have.
Yeah.
He didn't need to, because Emerson was there, and he only had Watkins.
Yeah.
There was only Target on the left and Watkins in the centre. All he had was Watkins to watch, and he let him run off him.
Yeah.
But obviously, if Romero's there, it would have been easier to defend for sure. Oh, the camera's gone. Oh no, it's back up. So yeah, I think it definitely contributed to us conceding, and I think you're going to get that with Romero. You're going to get that with him, because that is just a consequence of how he plays. But what I would say is, I think you have to take that with how good he is in anticipating passes and how proactive he is. That's just a byproduct of the way he defends, and I think you just have to accept it. It's a bit like, if you remember, back in Pochettino's early days when Lloris used to come charging out of his goal, and he used to have the odd clanger. He used to occasionally miss the ball or cause a mistake, and we always used to say actually that he used to make a mistake, but rarely it would actually cost us. It wouldn't. Usually the mistake, he would make it, but they wouldn't score from it and stuff like that. But the amount of times he used to sweep and it would actually work was like 9 times out of 10 he would get it right, but 1 times out of 10 he would get it wrong. And that's kind of the same thing with Romero. He's aggressive and proactive, and 9 times out of 10 he'll get the ball first, and he'll stop the attack at source. But once in every 10, probably not that much. It'll probably be once in every 6 or 7. He won't get there, and obviously then you'll be in trouble. But then you'll manage the situation. But 5 or 6 out of every 7 times, he's going to get there first and actually stop the attack immediately, and then all of a sudden you're back on the front foot, and that is so crucial. And that is so crucial for just winning the ball back and ball retention and stuff like that. So I still think it needs to be perfected a bit in this system in a back 4, but the signs are really strong, and this is exactly what I saw in his early few performances. He was just getting it a bit wrong a few more times than yesterday, but yesterday he's starting to get it right.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But do you think that if the game finishes 1-1 yesterday, people are still raving about Romero's performance as much as they are?
I think you'd probably get more people saying, "Oh, he cost us the goal. See, look what happens when he comes charging out." You probably will get a few people about that. I think the smarter people would see exactly what he brings and how good he is, and the positives on his method of defending. And we just need him to get more settled in the back line. I think we just need to keep giving him a run of games, because he's definitely, in terms of anticipation, in terms of reading of the game, aggression, none of our other centre-backs match him whatsoever. And also, I know in the first half he gave the ball away quite a few times, but I feel like his composure on the ball is very strong as well.
And that ping out to Sonny.
Yeah, he did an unbelievable ping, and also Eric Dyer as well. You got to say, did an unbelievable through ball to Sonny.
I think Romero, that calming presence of Romero next to Dyer made him up his performance big time, because usually he has Davinson Sanchez, who can be very erratic, all right, and he's not that comfortable on the ball for the most part. And I think that very much contributes into Dyer's performances. And I think that we really need to persist with these two at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I think that they strung up a really good partnership yesterday.
And Dyer has a bit more experience. Obviously, he's a bit older than Romero. He's like obviously 28. Romero's 23. So I think he's a good partner.
Romero looks like the more experienced.
I know. That's just reality at the moment. But Dyer, it should be the more experienced head. It should be. And I think when you've got two leaders at the back, hopefully Romero takes on more responsibility in that sense. I think it's going to be very, very positive. And I think the back line looked strong in the most part. The only time that we looked stretched was when they got the ball out wide, really. That was the only time we looked in trouble because they had those wing backs. And I think there was a problem with, like, Emerson didn't know who to mark. Did he tuck inside or did he go out wide to target? Because if he goes out wide to target, then there's two strikers in Watkins and Ings in the centre, and do we have enough men to cover those two? But if he goes inside, Matt Target's always going to be free, and I felt like more often than not he chose to go inside, and that left a lot of room for Matt Target to kind of manoeuvre in, and he got a lot of joy down that side. That was the only time we were struggling. But other than that, we looked solid, I thought, yesterday. And I thought the chances we created going forward as well, we should have easily put the game to bed long before the final whistle.
I want to opinion on this one from Engwa, £5 super chat, saying yesterday's result reminded me of Villa away when Kane scored that free kick. The game that saved Poch's job, and now this game saved Nuno's job. What do you reckon about
that? Well, I wouldn't say did it save Nuno's job. I wouldn't say it saved his job. It definitely was a massive result we needed.
In the press conference.
Yeah, he needed that. He definitely needed it.
Interview on the Spurs YouTube channel afterwards. Did you see that? How happy he was.
Yeah.
It seemed as though he's just had like a weight completely lifted off his shoulders with that performance yesterday.
Well, I feel like finally he got the balance right. Like really finally, in the first 3 games we were solid defensively.
I think in the Man City game the balance was right.
For that game particularly, but not maybe in terms of like if we played that same team against Man City as we did yesterday, I think we struggle more because I feel like yesterday, the first few games we were very, very solid. We had a lot of solidity, but we couldn't get our foot on the ball and create enough chances or even press effectively enough in the final third that in transitions we would create enough chances. Then he kind of went to attacking, getting Tongi and Dele together and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden we had no solidity whatsoever. We couldn't retain the ball. We were very, very weak and we were very easy to play against. And now, yesterday, I think he found that perfect blend. Having Ndombele, Skip and Højbjerg, I know Ndombele didn't have the best game, but in terms of the balance of the team, it definitely worked. And I think having that solidity of Skip and Højbjerg going box to box, Tongi or Lo Celso being able to create that front three, interchanging and looking bright together, and the aggression of Romero being there whenever Villa come forward, he's there to sweep up and be aggressive and win the ball back. The balance was definitely a lot better, and there's a lot to work on, but the balance was so much better yesterday than it has been in previous games, and it's I think. Maybe in the City game, but I think you could might even be able to include the City game. I think this was our best performance of the season. I know Villa had a lot of joy, but I think in terms of chance creation and stuff like that, definitely most chances we created in a game.
Santos Grande says Cristian Romero is the next Ruben Diaz, so I wouldn't mind that.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
That
but look, he's starting to show why he's so highly thought of, Romero, and. That's why I'm happy. That's why I'm happy with his performance, and we could see exactly how he likes to defend, and he doesn't wait for anyone. He's not going to be concerned or worried about you, and a few times it will get him in trouble, but more often than not, he's going to be so dominant against most strikers, and they're going to find it so hard to deal with him, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I literally cannot wait. Reguilon as well had his best performance of the season, in my opinion. I thought he was really good yesterday. I thought Lucas Moura came to the party. I thought he was really good. I thought Kane did put in a much improved performance yesterday and much more involved in the game. but still not the old Kane that we know and love, but definitely a step in the right direction, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Kane, a lot of people were still like, I was seeing a lot of people like still saying, his performance was shit, he was terrible, all that. I just disagree. I don't think he was, I'm not going to say he was amazing or brilliant or great. I don't think those words are the right descriptions for his performance, but to say he was shit again, I think it was mischaracterization of his performance.
He wasn't shit.
He wasn't shit. I think he was a lot more involved. He was passing, was occasionally off, but he still was creating chances. Created some chances for Sonny, for Lo Celso, some really presentable ones.
But he was getting in good positions, which was the main thing for me.
Yeah,
he was getting in good positions. Yes, he should have scored a goal.
Definitely. You could have said the same for a few other players. Also, should have scored a goal.
Yeah. But what I'm saying with Harry Kane is that so far this season, we haven't been seeing him getting those positions. We have been seeing impact games in a positive way.
And he was fighting, I felt.
Yesterday, we saw him getting in those positions. Yes, fine, he didn't get those goals, but as much as we want to rave about Sonny, he didn't get on the score sheet either, where he definitely should have. And I thought Harry Kane, nowhere near the performance of Sonny, let's be honest.
No. Son was a different level to Kane.
Nowhere near the performance of Sonny, but still, in terms of how you want to compare him, how he's been this season, it's a step in the right direction, and that's all we can ask for at the end of the day right now.
Yeah, he needs to get that goal in the Premier League. Obviously, it's 7 games now. Well, 6. I think he didn't play the first game, so 6 games without a goal for Kane, which for him is a goal drought, no doubt about it. But I'm certain that he's gonna get. He's starting to get in with the team now, and he's starting to get the right balance, and he's getting more chances. We just need to keep giving him the ball, and the goals will come. I'm certain of it. The goals will come, and I don't think it was his best. No, obviously he wasn't anywhere near the best player on the team or anything like that. But I think he was okay. I don't think it was a terrible performance from Kane, and I don't think it was one of those performances where we should be complaining about him like not caring and stuff like that. I just didn't see that. I think he was caring. He was running. I think he was actually pressing really quite well yesterday, Harry Kane. There were a few times where from goal kicks he's right up there and forcing them into mistakes and stuff like that. And I thought he was okay actually, Harry Kane yesterday. Obviously we want him,
but okay, that's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but obviously we want him to be better. We want him to be the Harry Kane that we know he can be. We obviously want that, but we just got to keep encouraging him and not turn on him. I really believe that, because I don't think turning on him is going to help anything, and I don't think yesterday is one of those performances where we can say his heart's not in or anything like that. I just don't think. I didn't see that personally.
I thought no. I was there, and I thought that there were quite a few people around me laying into Harry Kane at times yesterday. But I thought it was a bit unwarranted. I did think it was a bit unwarranted, and I think that it was probably his best performance of the season.
Which probably says more about his season.
Yeah, it definitely says more about his season. But, it's a progression, and when you're in such bad form, it's a progression, and you need to work your way, work hard to get out of that rut. And
it's exactly what I said about Kane. You get if we get the defence and the midfield right, you get the balance better, you're going to see a better Harry Kane. And I think there was evidence yesterday that we started to see Kane a lot more involved, a lot more on the ball. We weren't just lumping balls in Kane's vague direction. Although what I would say is Kane was winning a few more headers than he had in previous games as well, which is positive. But we had a lot. The football was much more suited to getting Kane more involved, so that was good. And but I think in general the team as a function, it was a consequence of the team functioning better more than Kane himself probably. But yeah, look, really good win. Good to get the 3 points. Forgot what it feels like really to get 3 points in the Premier League. Good to stop the rot, which we really needed to do. And all of a sudden, who are like 2 points off like third or something. All of a sudden, doesn't
it's only 6 games.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden, like you would have felt like with 3 such heavy defeats, we would have fallen far behind. But we haven't fallen that far behind just yet, and so we have to keep consistency. We have to keep that performance up, and we can't just put that performance in and then after international break, have a poor performance against Newcastle and draw
let's
or
hope
lose.
We stay bloody injury and quarantine free after the international break. That's the main thing, isn't it?
That's the thing. And we know that the quarantining is a different case. Nuno confirmed that after the game that it's going to be a different case. So thankfully, it looks like Lo Celso, Romero, and Sanchez and Emerson are all going to be able to play once the break is over. But I was just happy that we showed I think yesterday showed the players are not haven't stopped playing for the manager or anything like that. And it's no surprise, you get a few of the other the players that people are complaining about. You take Dele out of the team, you take one of you don't play Sanchez and Dyer together. You get you take them out of the team. You get Emerson back in a right back. All of a sudden you're starting to see improvements, and that was good.
That lineup yesterday was one off our predicted lineup. Basically,
and in fact, it should have been because Lo Celso was brilliant. I thought when he came on.
Lo Celso was brilliant, and Ndombele was poor. I don't know what was up with Ndombele yesterday. It was very uncharacteristic, wasn't it?
It was actually a flip of what we usually see.
Yeah, because I thought he was trying. I thought he put a shift in, but. Every time he got the ball, every time the ball came in direction, it seemed to bounce off him. His control was all over the place, wasn't impacting the game at all when he did get on the ball. I think I remember once when he actually beat his man, and that was about it the whole game.
That was in the second half.
Yeah, in the second half when he was closing, he was starting an attack. He was on the right-hand side of the box.
And he got a shot.
Yeah. And
that was actually a brilliant moment.
Yeah, but that was it. That was the only good moment he did the whole game.
Yeah, and that was very odd. It was very odd that... his usual strengths of on the ball, because he saw quite a bit of the ball, but he just wasn't able to do anything with it. The one moment that really frustrated me is when it was in the second half, Sonny released him down the left hand side. He had acres of space. All right, here we go, and Ndombele's going to do something special, and he took one of the heaviest awful touches I've ever seen straight to the Villa defender. I was like, what is up with him? Something's weird. That touch is so unlike Ndombele. He never does that. So
that's the only strange. That's the only thing in the game for me. I thought.
Yeah, he was by far the worst player. Unfortunately,
I thought Nuno should have brought on Lo Celso a lot earlier than he did.
I think everyone could have seen that. He brought him on 70th minute or something. He should have been at least an hour earlier, latest. It should have been
exactly.
And Lo Celso saw when he came on, it was different. All of a sudden. We created in that period when Lo Celso was on. We created so many chances, and even to be honest, Lo Celso
scored.
Oh, that annoyed me. What was he doing? I don't know if it was a pass or a shot. I still don't know. I've seen it 100 times. I don't know what he's doing. I think it's a pass.
That Lo Celso moment and that Harry Kane moment when he tries to lob Martinez on the byline.
Yeah,
what the hell is Harry Kane thinking? He's got Lo Celso and Sonny, I think, bearing down in the box. He's got options to give them an open goal pretty much. And he goes for a lob for Martinez. I don't get
I've seen it again, and I think they Son and Lo Celso weren't in the box when he tried the lob, so I'm just thinking...
But they were making their way into the box.
He should have looked up. He didn't look up, I think. I think it was instinct. He just turned and lobbed it. He should have looked up.
You need to have a bloody inch perfect shot if you're going to lob him from the byline like that.
He backed himself, and to be fair, he needed to score from the halfway line, didn't he? That was a good effort. That was a good effort from Kane.
Yeah.
And we know he's capable of that, don't we, Harry Kane? And he forced Martinez into a really good save. And that was... From that, I thought Kane looked confident off when that moment, but he should have passed that one right at the end. I don't know why he didn't. I think he just didn't look up. He just did it from instinct. But the Spurs should have, so we should have killed. The last 5 minutes, I must say, never been so comfortable in the last 5 minutes.
And, we said that in the first 3 games as well. We said that against Man City, we said that against Wolves, and we said that against Watford as well. When we were closing the game, only one goal lead, right? The Wolves game, Harry Kane comes on the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, we look good,
closed out that game. Man City, I remember in the last 5-10 minutes, they didn't give us pretty much any problems in the last 5-10 minutes. And Watford, we were pretty much comfortable for the whole game, so you can't really put that one down. But yesterday, I thought for the last 5 minutes, the way we were taking it into the corner flag, Sonny running into the box and then running all the way back out. I mean, they just couldn't get the ball off him at all yesterday. I thought we would just look so comfortable for those last 5 minutes, and Villa couldn't get the ball off us really for the last 5 minutes.
It was amazing. I think literally we went to the corner on 91 or 92 minutes, and it just didn't leave the corner for the rest of the stoppage time. It was brilliant time wasting.
I loved it how Sonny just dribbled into the middle
and then dribbled out. Oh, that was amazing. That summed up his game. They couldn't get the ball. He went past 3 players.
He was untouchable.
Went past 3 players to get in the box. Went past 3 players to get out of the box. It was unbelievable. They just couldn't get it off him.
The same 3 players.
Literally, it was unbelievable. But one other thing to talk about was it an own goal? Everyone's been chatting about
100%.
Was it an own goal?
It was an own goal.
I've initially thought...
You've been going out on Twitter how it's been Lucas's goal.
I initially thought it was Lucas definitely got a touch on it, but I've slowed it down now a lot of times, and it did initially look like Lucas did get it looked like Target touched it onto Lucas, but on further inspection, it doesn't look like Lucas does touch it, unfortunately.
I never thought, I thought in the stadium it was Lucas's goal, obviously, but as soon as I got back, I saw it was an own goal.
I thought Target touched it onto Lucas. That's what I thought happened.
From the angle where you see Target in front of Lucas, from the left-hand side angle, you can see it clearly. If you look at it from the other angle, it doesn't look as clear. It does look like Lucas touches it, but it's because their boots are pretty much... It basically looks like...
Yeah, it's hard to see, yeah.
But I think it was 100% a Target
Yeah,
goal.
unfortunately, it was a Target own goal for Lucas. Couldn't get on the end of it. And talking about Lucas, I also thought he had a decent game as well. I thought he played well. I thought in the first half, actually, he was a bit frustrating. But I thought once he gets into his rhythm, Lucas, he's so hard to stop, isn't he?
No, I thought he had a really good performance yesterday. Really good performance. And I thought the front three worked really well together. I thought the midfield worked really well together. And I thought defence really worked together. So it's nice to see all this teamwork and cohesion and partnerships all over the pitch yesterday. It really was.
Yeah, and Nuno, hopefully, that's proof that... Not proof, but hopefully it's a step in the right direction for Nuno going forward, and they can use that performance as a benchmark. And I'm happy because a lot of question marks going into this game if they're still fighting for him and all this kind of stuff. If they've already lost stress for him
yesterday, wasn't it?
Like clearly they're working very hard for him, weren't they? They didn't look like they didn't care or anything like that. And when it came to Nuno, so I think he got it right. The team packed him up, so I was very happy for him.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see this, but I can see some proper leadership qualities coming out in Sonny recently, especially this season. I think that his post-match interviews stink of leadership as well.
Stink of leadership. Never heard of that.
Stink's the right word.
Never heard of that phrase.
Definitely, he's got a bit of leadership qualities about him. I think that, you saw in the Arsenal game him G'ing up Kane, G'ing up Højbjerg, who I didn't really think needed G'ing up in a North London derby, but clearly they did. And you saw yesterday when we scored our second goal, the way he went over to the fans, and you could just see what it meant to him. You could just see what it means to him, and I'm loving Sonny at the moment. I think he's been by far our best player this season, and he was by far the best player on the pitch yesterday. And long may it continue, really. Long may it continue.
I'm glad Sonny's stepping up, and he's been brilliant. Yeah, you're right. He is looking to take on more responsibility. But I would say yesterday was definitely by far his best performance of the season. I think he has got a few goals.
I think it's his best performance for a while. I think it might have been better than any of his performances.
I think he has got a few goals this season, but he hasn't quite been. There's been a few moments where he's been in front of goal and just I don't know whether it's a confidence thing or whatnot. He's just been a bit hesitant a few times. But yesterday
he's been pretty good in all our games so far, though.
Yeah, he has been. But this was like a true Sonny like
masterclass
throughout the whole game. He was a menace. He was a complete menace. Just needs to get his shooting boots back, and then he's going to be. Then we'll give him a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, literally.